the Leo full moon, and then we'll go into Mercury retrograde and any other aspects that we're connecting with right now. So I wrote down a bunch of, I was channeling yesterday like pretty strongly, and it all aligns with this energy pretty well too. So this full moon is really setting us up to really come back to who we are, which is why sometimes we feel that struggle and it's like we want to push through, but it's really just helping us come back to who we are as a whole being, right? So it's challenging us in those ways. So right now is a time to really be courageous and face your fears, knowing it's safe on the other side. So anytime those fears come up and they come into our experience, choosing that courage and what could be on the other side, the unknown, doing it differently, being differently, handling it differently than you have before that hasn't worked for you, and then reminding yourself that it's safe on the other side rather than having that fear of the unknown. So that's a space to really challenge yourself right now as we go into this Leo moon. Also, our mind is going to be a highlight for the next 3 weeks. So now is a good time for you to like go within and then focus on the unseen of what is inside you and letting it show up on the outside. And really use your critical thinking skills and know that it's worth it to do that. Not just taking all information that's in front of you. It's really the time for us to go within and focus on the unseen to find that answer, whether it's like the collective or in your personal life, however that shows up. But then from there, taking that information and really aligning it with everything outside of you and seeing it show up in the physical world. People in general don't like to think differently. It's too uncontrollable. So remind yourself of that when you're feeling frustrated, and seek compassion in that way. It takes a lot of faith and trust. So it could be very challenging for some people to really get into that space of thinking differently, and that's okay. So it's finding compassion for that. When you see yourself taking a different path than someone else may be taking. Don't allow anything outside of you to keep you from living your best life. So now is that time to just really go within, find that stillness and that balance, and not allow, or at least focus on not allowing anything outside of you to take you away from that. And express yourself as your best self and ask yourself, who is that? Who is that person, that best self? How would you be? We tend to label ourselves for who we think we are when that's not really true who we are. It's just who, we've been in our past or who we thought we were. And now's a really good time to reflect over that and ask ourselves who our best self really is, and being in that authentic space of this is my truth and this is who I am, and I'm breaking free of anything different from that. So this Leo full moon, Leo's higher frequencies include the qualities of a benevolent leader. Sorry, I said it wrong. Leo aligns us with the vibrations of courage, compassion, empathy, and honor. When we tune into this high side of Leo, we hear the messages of our heart without judgment and only unconditional love. We wholeheartedly love and accept every aspect of ourselves, and we express ourselves fully to the world without fear of rejection. In this high state of Leo, we embody the confidence and poise of a great leader who is accepting of approval but not dependent upon it. If we find our highest self and share that person with the world unrestricted by the ego. Okay, so that's in your heart space and really sharing what is in your heart with the world around you. When working with the vibrations of Leo, we come up against the ego, which is Leo's shadow. The ego is the part of us that yearns to be defined by something. It is our identity in many ways and our conditioned patterns around who we are in this life. It is also our inner critic, our self-defeating thoughts, and the part of us that feels separated from others. The ego can get in the way of us finding and expressing our true self. It attaches to ideas of how we should behave in the world and how we should be received by others. Ego's fuel is fear, and it can often lead us down dark paths of needing constant validation and approval for what we express to the world. The ego's role should be to motivate us and remind us of our purpose when needed and help us function within society but not lead our life. Okay, so if you're finding your ego leading right now, that's just for you to shift it. It's giving that awareness for you to shift more into that compassion and that empathy for others, and then allow the ego to kind of be the student in the sense. The counterpart to the ego is the self. When we align with Leo and Aquarius's highest vibrations, we tap into our self of our higher consciousness. This self is the part of us connected to the entire energy of the universe and therefore connected to everyone and everything around us. When moving from self, there is no need to compare or compete with others because we are all one. Without separation, we do not feel insecurity, lack, or unworthiness. When we operate from the self, we are always connected to our heart's message. We do not need to distract ourselves from our feelings, for we understand the true nature of ourselves in pure love and beauty. From this place, we feel fulfilled in our lives and we are confident in everything we do because we are always moving from the heart. We no longer worry about rejection or approval from others, but feel confident in who we are. So, I mean, for me, I could give a really good example of this. Like when I speak out about vaccines, like, and I know Kate, you can agree with me on this, there's a lot of rejection to that. And it takes a lot to be in that self and find that confidence in being and standing your ground in that. So that's pushing past whenever those feelings come up where you're afraid to speak out, or, you know, like it brings up those fears because, you know, someone will attack or like feel differently, but like really push that right or wrong. It's up to us to find compassion for that person and not really allow that to deter us from who we are and just work through those feelings as they come up. So staying centered within the self takes a deep awareness of when the ego takes over, then redirecting our energy towards higher vibrations of compassion, love, and connection. Aligning with the self allows us to honor our true essence, the spirit we were born with, and give its message freely to the collective without needing approval. So this is about speaking from the heart. What is it that you find that you're passionate about and is super important for the world that needs to be heard, needs to be seen, needs to be put out into the universe, into the collective, that you may be holding yourself back from, you know, but like you really want to speak out. Reflect over those things, journal about it, but really feel into those feelings that come up around it for you to shift so you can really be in your most authentic self without worrying about the people around you, because all of those people around you are doing the same thing. They're all seeking to find their most authentic self. So when you can do that, then you're allowing others to do the same for themselves and teaching them. So it's about us being that example so we can give that to others to show them that there's a better way. There's a better way. We haven't been taught the best way. So now it's up to us that have done the healing, that have done the work, that have chosen a different way, a more higher vibrational way. When we can do that and show that to other people who may not be giving that back to us in return, but at the same time, we give it back, we give it to them because we are not going to be out of integrity dependent on how someone else acts. But when we do that, that puts us in a place of power and healing the collective. So be aware of that when that shows up for you. We have the opportunity to find our highest vibration and highest self with this full moon's energy. This opportunity is the true merger of Leo and Aquarius and their corresponding frequencies. When we align with Leo's shadow side, we become demanding, in need of approval, and insecure. We seek external validation instead of feeling our own power. We can even cause drama to our lives and the lives of others to gain the attention we need to feel secure within ourselves. This lower vibration of Leo disconnects us from our heart and instead aligns us with delusions of our ego. We latch on to our identities and forget that we are beings made of pure love, capable of deep compassion and unlimited joy. Okay. So when we embody Aquarius's lower vibrations, we become overly critical of others and judgmental, especially those in positions of authority. Instead of helping to change what we do not like in the world, we complain and detach from others. We disconnect from the vibration of love and acceptance and instead become aloof. We withhold our energy while acting superior to everyone around us. Notice if there are any places in your life you may be aligning with these lower vibrations. And again, without judgment, envision how you can shift them. When we step into the highest frequencies of Aquarius, we can feel the infinite connection between us and the universe. We understand that we are just one part of a bigger collective. We want to contribute our energy to making the world a better place by connecting with the vibration of love and acceptance. So obviously, we're all, like the way I see it, we're all in different frequencies, but also like dimensionally. Like this is a multi-dimensional world. So not everyone's in the same dimension, but we all are seeking love and acceptance for the most part. So if we can seek that in our own way, no matter how our truth shows up or the dimension we're living in, it just makes it one we're both looking for that same or we're all looking for that same outcome of love and acceptance for all, for ourselves, for others, for, you know, everyone in our lives, and then everyone on this earth. So we have the opportunity with this pair to vibrate to a higher level than ever before. These two energies allow us to feel our heart's messages and honor them while honoring the collective. We learn to express ourselves from a place of love and gratitude instead of a place of judgment or neediness. Okay, so that's what we're seeking to align with this full moon. So be aware of, remember that deep self-awareness, be aware of where you are not in your highest alignment of that, and just seek to shift it and have humbleness and just shifting it. Okay, so we have some aspects this full moon. So Jupiter is playing a part right now. It is adding joy and positivity to any situation. This energy of hope, silver linings, and having faith that the best case scenario will unfold. Jupiter often tests us and asks us to take a leap into the unknown and trusting the course of our journey. Okay. So really knowing that the best is yet to come. There's more to the story. We are just walking home to ourselves, and what that is love and acceptance for all, right? And peace. So have faith in that and trust that the path we're currently taking is leading us to that. No matter how it looks, that's where it's leading us to. So Jupiter's influence on this full moon adds to the energy of the sun in Aquarius. It reminds us of the potential of community and the brilliant world created when people work together. Jupiter in Aquarius attunes our attention to society's highest good and asks us to look at our role in elevating the collective. Jupiter asks us to look at places where we are not living up to our full potential. Where are you not fully accepting yourself, and how does that impact the person you are in the world? Okay, so with full acceptance of yourself, you will have a better opportunity to ripple that out into full acceptance for everyone else. Okay. With Jupiter adding to this full moon, it becomes even more powerful time to release anything that limits the full expression of your true essence. And then we also have Mars in Taurus, which is asking us to integrate parts of ourselves that always want to be doing with the parts of us that just want to be. So we feel like we need to be doing in some ways when really we should just be being. So that's kind of that ego trying to take over again. So we can find clarity and a sense of grounding before moving forward. So if we allow ourselves to be before taking that leap of head and doing, it'll give us a better understanding, more grounding, and full clarity to move ahead. Okay, so Mars is asking how you might be at war with yourself this full moon and how this war disrupts your ability to love yourself. Furthermore, how might you be at war with others or with your position in the collective? Where have you infused anger where instead there could be love, or frustration where there could be compassion. Okay, so notice where these lower energies are showing up and how you can shift them. Uranus further complicates things by helping to break up our familiar patterns. Both Mars and Taurus challenge the very foundation we need to find stillness, but also teach us how to create within, no matter what occurs outside of ourselves. This full moon asks us to build a stronger connection with our center by taking in moments of stillness. Then shift the energy of Mars into motivation to heal, love ourselves, and fight for our truth. Feel this energy helping to dissolve anything that does not align with your core essence. Feel into your connection with nature, helping to center your energy this full moon, and step into your full power. Be willing to fight for yourself and the highest expression of your soul. Then align with Mars to add to the courage brought to you by Leo to show up in every situation like a true warrior as yourself. Okay, so not allowing anybody outside of you to take you off your center or to the core essence of who you are, not feeling, guilty or shameful for who you are, and really stepping into that power, knowing that you are worthy of that and that that is your truth and you deserve to have that, knowing that, that's truly who you are. And nobody can define who you are other than you, right? Okay, so now we're going to do some house scopes before I go into retrograde. So these house scopes are for this full moon, and how will it affect you based on that house. Okay, so, all right, there's 4 of us. So, Bruiser, do you want to tell me what yours is?
Which house am I looking for?
What house Leo is in?
7.
Okay, 7th house. Okay.
Wait, Jack, sorry, where do I go again? Cafe Astrology.
Yep, astro.cafeastrology.com, and then you're going to go to I think it's the Placidus chart.
astrocafeastrology.com, the Placidus chart. Marie's looking hers up.
Okay. Oh, Marie's here too. Cool.
Kind of. It's in the living room.
Okay. Did you find yours though? Wait,
I'm looking mine up now.
Okay,
Unless you have mine up already.
I'm pretty fast. So yours is 9th house. Kate, were you able to find yours? You're muted. I don't know if you're...
What am I looking for?
Okay, so hold on. Let's see if my screen will show
I thought
it.
I was looking for my sun sign or something, but now you're talking about number houses.
Oh, yeah, house. Okay, so your Placidus chart. Can you kind of see that?
Oh, okay. Because I got my my fancy birth date book that Matt got me for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
I'm like, oh, I can just open it up. It tells me everything. But I don't think it goes that in depth.
That's really cute, actually, that book.
Cool.
Okay, so we have 7th house, 9th house, mine is 10th. And then Jade, Brittany, I almost called you Jade. When you find Marie's, just let me know and I'll read hers.
She said that she's not participating tonight.
Okay. That is fine with me. Okay. All right, so Kate, just let me know when you find it, or you can put it in the chat or something. I'm going to read Bruiser's first. So the 7th house rules our relationships and how we find balance within them. With Leo ruling your 7th house, you may find yourself the leader in any relationship. Your work is to learn how to compromise and allow others to take the reins from time to time. During this full moon, let go of any partnerships that don't resonate with your true self. Also, release any that don't support unconditional love for yourself. How can your relationships teach you how to love yourself even more?
Oh,
Do you connect with that?
A little bit.
Okay. Cool. So just reflect over that and how it shows up for you this full moon.
wait, it does go that in depth.
Okay.
It has. Okay, I'm looking for Leo.
Yep.
6.
So, all right, sixth house. The sixth house rules how we give our unique gifts and talents to the world. It also governs how we teach and mentor others. With Leo governing this house for you, you must recognize your uniqueness and have the courage to express yourself to the world. Oh, what did I just say? Like 5 minutes ago. During the full moon, release any self-doubt that you are not good enough and instead allow yourself to be vulnerable. Share your talents and let go of any fear of rejection. The approval you need is your own. How can you contribute your unique talents towards healing the world? I love that. I like that for you a lot. Cool. Good stuff. And that was literally what I was just talking about, was I not? So perfect. Okay. Yeah, we're basically, we kind of have to lead and help others too a bit. So step into that. You got it. Okay. Brittany, what'd you say? Ninth house? Okay, the ninth house rules how we embrace new information and integrate different perspectives into our consciousness. With Leo ruling your ninth house, you approach new ideas with courage, but also some resistance. You hold fast to your truths, and when you discover new ones, it takes you a moment to integrate them. During this full moon, open yourself to learning new truths about your spirit. Release any preconceived notions of who you should be and instead be who you are. How can new perspectives teach you to love yourself even more? Cool.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah, I like that too. Expanding your mind. I feel like
Yeah.
mind expansion. Cool.
I think
Okay.
it's good too because I'm starting the candle company soon.
Oh, true. That's true. Cool. Good stuff. Okay, so for mine is 10th house. The 10th house rules how we approach our life's work and mission. With Leo ruling your 10th house, you end up in the spotlight, even if it's unintentional. Your mission is to be seen by others, to lead and to teach, even if these things feel vulnerable to you. During this full moon, release any fears of what others may think of you and instead cultivate unconditional love for yourself. Step into the light and allow others to see your brilliance and your knowledge. How can you allow your true self to be seen while healing your fear? That's big for me. I totally feel into that. Actually, I read this last night with Kim because Kim and I had meditation last night. Usually it was just us. Usually I have at least 5 people, but it was just me and her. And I was saying to her, I'm like, that's coming up big because I feel like I have a lot of knowledge and it is a lot to express to others because it is very different. But I am very knowledgeable in it. So that's really where I'm stepping into and allowing myself to be that leader. So we'll see how that shows up. It'll be fun for sure. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Mercury retrograde, which I find I'm intrigued by it for sure. So this Mercury retrograde starts on January 30th until February 20th. Okay, so that's this weekend. In the last few years, Mercury retrograde has been in water signs. Okay, so I would say going back to like 2016, like we haven't had any other signs than water. So this is going to be our first air sign. Okay, Mercury is ruled by the element of air and earth. So this may intensify the experience, which people may say that's not fun because Mercury retrograde isn't always the funnest. But yeah, so it's good, which to me means that it's just bringing up more to heal and that's in our subconscious that's ready to come forward. So this may cloud our mental energy. So pay attention to any repetitive thoughts that keep coming up. Don't just don't allow it to take over your life. So when you notice yourself like overthinking or you're just like thinking about things and you're constantly in your mind, start to pay attention to those thoughts that are coming up the strongest. So if you have something that keeps coming back up and keeps replaying, stop yourself for a moment and pay attention to why that's coming up. Our task this retrograde will be to acknowledge mental chatter and observe what needs to be looked at and learn how to release and let go of the rest. Okay, so seek to find balance between finding stillness and peace of mind, but not ignoring your thoughts either. Okay, so this is up to you to find that alignment that works. It's, I mean, with each energy, that's what we're focused on doing, is working with it. How can we work with it till we can master it almost? Like, that's the goal with each energy that shows up, is how do I master this energy to work with that puts me into my best self and for me to work through. So Mercury retrograde has a way of triggering old relationships, bringing unresolved issues back up to the surface. And it can also be the open door. It can also open the door to rekindle past romances. So, some clarity will come around February 8th. So that part in the retrograde cycle is a time where some clarity can start to flow in. And then once the cycle moves forward, we'll have the full clarity. So feelings buried in our subconscious may come to the surface, which can help us understand the root of any beliefs or behavioral patterns playing out. When we understand ourselves, it also allows us to create healthier relationships with others. So the reason for this strong focus on love and relationships this retrograde is due to the position of Venus. And also, so with Venus being active, so is Uranus. So Venus and Uranus will be active during this whole retrograde. And Uranus is the planet of surprises. So just be open to anything that comes up, and just, if it rattles you out of your center, that's okay. It's just for you to better integrate what comes up and work through it. So some new information may be revealed. This time will shine a spotlight on our closest relationships. Okay, so that's Mercury retrograde. So pay attention, be aware that if any, shift in relationships show up, that's because Mercury retrograde is bringing it to our forefront right now. And just do the best you can, slow down, reflect, all of those things, go within. That's that retrograde energy. So go back, go internally and see how it's affecting you when something shows up. Like, that's the point of this. And then from there, you'll shift the relationship. And then what will happen is when we move forward, then we'll see how it's really shifted and brought us closer in our relationships, and bringing more healthy ways of connecting, and just having each relationship